All right. Welcome, viewers, to the Klipsch holiday shopping live stream event. Today, we're going to be talking about some fantastic products, audio gifts for that special person in your life that loves music or movies. Or if it's for yourself, we're going to have some industry experts to talk about some great features and answer any questions. And we're going to be giving away some product today. So stay tuned. We're going to go for about an hour. Every 15 minutes, we're going to bring on a new special partner to talk about a different category and product. First up, we're going to bring on Nick from Audio Advice. Nick is going to be talking about one of our major brands here at Premium Audio Company, and that is Onkyo, specifically the very popular RZ series. Welcome, Nick.
Thanks for having me, Marcus, and thanks for everybody for tuning in.
Awesome. So, Nick, you are a designer, you're an audiophile, you build a lot of systems. What do you love about the Onkyo RZ series?
Yeah. So, we're all kind of hobbyists here as well as, do this for a living. But the RZ series is fantastic. So they're some of my favorite, and I use affordable loosely because everything's relative. But generally speaking, they're my favorite affordable receiver to use in home theaters, from entry level all the way up to, the middle to higher end.
Nice. And when he talks about affordable, he's mentioning products between $1,000 and $3,000 price point, which is our AVR lineup. What makes it great? There's three models: the RZ30, which is the newest one, kind of the entry level price point, the RZ50, and then the flagship RZ70, which I believe is one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, we use the RZ70 a lot. And again, I work as a dedicated theater designer, so we do a lot of 11 channel systems. A 724 is one of the more common ones that I do. But even if you don't have a 724 and you want to start out with, say, a 524 or 522, getting a really good foundation piece that's got a great amplifier section, great DACs, all the features that you want is really crucial in a system like that.
Yeah, that's a great one. And one of the cool things about the RZ70 is when he talks about those numbers, so 5.2, 7.2, the first number is the number of speakers that you're going to power. The second one is subwoofers. And on the RZ70, we have independent subwoofer banks, which means you have a left sub and a right sub, and they're independently controlled. So if you're watching a movie like Jurassic Park or Top Gun Maverick, the bass will follow it around the room. It's a very great, gives you a very nice immersive experience.
Yeah, well, with independent subs, the nice thing is you can really calibrate them independently because you don't want two subs playing the exact same thing as if they're in the same position in the room. You want them to be calibrated independently. So if we have one in the front left corner and it's got a little cutout and the room's not 100% symmetrical, and you've got one in the right corner, so you want to be able to treat those two independently. And that's the beautiful thing, especially whenever you start to bring in Dirac, which I'm sure we'll touch on. But whenever you bring in Dirac, you can independently calibrate those subs and really tailor it to the room, get super tight bass, super accurate bass that feels like it's kind of running through you.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned Dirac room correction, so I'm going to let you continue down that path.
Yeah, well, okay, so this is somewhere where you can either get really deep in on the weeds or we can kind of hit this on a surface level. But generally speaking, with room correction, all right, on the simple level, every frequency interacts inside of a room. So sometimes a certain frequency is higher, sometimes a certain frequency is lower. Our goal is to have everything on the same exact level. Now, with Dirac, what it does is it plays a test tone, it measures where those frequencies are, and it levels those out. So you can actually have a very smooth response inside the room. So what you hear is a lot of dialogue clarity. So you see an increase in that. It's compensating for a lot of the reflections that are bouncing around. You get tighter bass and overall just better location accuracy for your sound.
Well said. Well said. For those of you that aren't familiar with home theater setups, you want every seat to have the same type of audio experience. And when we talk about frequencies, they're all different wavelengths, which means high frequencies are very small and bass frequencies are very large. That's why when that teenager drives past your house and he's got subwoofers in the trunk of his car, you don't hear any music. You just hear bass rattling your windows. Bass travels through furniture, and it's usually the hardest thing to control, which is why it's so important to have room correction for your bass response in the room. Yeah. Now, the other things these also have are certifications such as THX, and IMAX Enhance. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, so specifically, I think IMAX Enhance is the one that a lot of people really overlook because they kind of just think it's a badge of honor. And that's originally like that's how it kind of started out for some pieces, but really it's gone way past that. So DTSX and IMAX Enhance, IMAX is kind of building onto DTSX. And so with that, you can have sort of a certification level. Now with the certification, you just have to have a system that has a source that's IMAX enhanced. You have to have a playback system that's IMAX enhanced, and a receiver. So with that, if you are on like Disney Plus and it has THX, or excuse me, IMAX enhanced, and your Android device is able to play it, and your Onkyo receiver is able to play it, then really you can get the enhanced format. So that goes from video and audio. So on the audio side, you just get a little bit better. Well, I say a little bit better, but in some cases it's substantial, but you get better overall immersive object-based surround sound, which is just sounds floating throughout the room, and you get deeper bass impact, which is really cool.
Super cool. Now, when it comes to the badge of honor, we talked about probably the biggest badge of honor with any product, and that is power. So the power rating on our RZ series, in my opinion, is pretty great. They are all above 100 watts a channel, but I believe you have some experience with maybe some reviews we've had on our Pinnacle line, the RZ70.
Yeah, well, we're going from, let's see, 100 watts on the RZ30, 120 on the RZ50, and 140 on the RZ70. And so, again, if people have been in this market before, they realize that not all measurements are equal, and in some cases they can be a little bit misleading. That said, I work with a lot of people who do measurements. I work with some of the reviewers. So one of my good friends is Gene from Audioholics, and so he interviewed but he measured the RZ70, and he calls me up and he's like, "Man, this thing is no slouch." He's like, "You've got to try it in the price point." One of the best AVRs, which I don't want to put words in his mouth or use him for that, but he was really impressed with it, and so that kind of led me on to looking into it. And since then, I mean, we've been, again, at that price point, I've been doing pitching nothing but RZs since then. So they've been really, really great for smaller theaters that need that don't need separate amplifiers, and you just want plenty of power.
Fantastic. So when it comes to building a theater, and for example, let's say we're starting out, right? We're doing a gift event today. So I want to get a theater for either my living room or maybe even a dedicated theater. What's a good starting point? Like, where do I begin that journey?
Well, it just depends. So for us, we always recommend talking to a designer. That's what I do. So our main goal, and it always really has been our main goal, is to educate our clients. So whenever they come in and they're saying, "Hey, I want to start this journey," we want to be able to take the system from where you are now in terms of budget, or where you want to be in 5 years. So we try to think of this as a scalable sort of manner. So if you're saying, all right, you've talked to a designer in your rooms, say I'm stuck on 9 channels, just go with a 9-channel AVR in some cases. Or if you want better performance, go up to an 11-channel, you get better amp sections, better DACs, all the things that come along with it. But really what we want to try to find something is we want to find a way to future-proof it. So that's my biggest recommendation. So if you're starting out with a 5.1 and you see yourself getting into this hobby and expanding, which good chance you will, that's how we all get hooked, I would recommend going about as good as you can go. And instead of taking that budget and smearing it across a bunch of small things, start with the bigger things and just scale up as you go through. But so yeah, long story short, if you can go with the RZ70, you got my badge of honor. Go with the RZ70.
That is a great one. I own an RZ70. It is probably overkill for what I currently have. But the great thing, as you said, is you want to get products, especially when you invest that type of money, that you can grow into without growing out of. So if you want to add those Atmos speakers or go to a 7-channel surround sound, you have the ability to do that. Now, with you guys on Audio Advice, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do differently and where our customers can go to shop with you?
Yeah, so of course, we have our locations in North Carolina. So we're in Raleigh, Charlotte, North Carolina, and newly Wilmington, North Carolina. But we try to take that same experience and take it all over the country. So we do remote installations, but a large part of what we do is a big DIY approach. So again, the education of the customer. So we have our home theater tool on our website. So I highly recommend everybody check that out if they haven't already. But
What is that website?
audioadvice.com.
There you
And
go.
so if you go into the home theater design section, you can go and start laying out your theater room from sort of a basic level. So it's usually restricted to rectangles and squares, but it does very, very good. So with that, you can kind of decide your seating area, what speaker configuration, and the tool automatically tells you where to place things. Because you wouldn't believe how many people I've seen with thousands and thousands of dollars worth of gear that it's placed wrong. So from there, if we want to take a more custom approach, they come over to our design team. So we have an online design team where we can go through, take a customized approach, DIY. So we do renderings, tell you where to put all of the speakers. And once you get it, we also help with remote calibration. So really, we don't want to leave people up to dry, especially after they've spent a good portion of their money. We want to have support along the way. So we help with every single aspect of the theater. We're a one-stop shop.
That is fantastic. And one of my favorite shops. And for anyone watching, if you've not been to their shop in North Carolina, if you're in the area, please stop by. And I believe you guys do a show once a year. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we do a little show every once a year. We have Audio Advice Live, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina. So we we rent out the entire Sheraton Hotel. We have multiple floors of really high-end audio experiences and high-end video experiences, and we take a really particular approach on home theater. So we take these big ballrooms, and part of it's a small team. So we're all sitting here trying to rack our brains on how we go better and better. So this year we've had some really crazy theaters. PAC Klipsch was there, and they came in a big way. And so we had some, everything from 200-inch screens down to TVs there. So we try to make a whole smorgasbord of experiences for clients. So we're going to be announcing some stuff on that soon, but usually we're around the August timeframe. So if you can, it's worth making a trip. We had people come out from all over the country last year, and everyone loved it.
Awesome. It is one of my favorite shows. And for our viewers, this is a customer show. There's a lot of audio shows where every vendor shows up and we're all showcasing our newest, latest, and greatest. This is dedicated for customers. So if you're in the area, you got to try. There are people that come from literally all over the world to this show in North Carolina. It is an absolute blast. Now, Nick, we're coming close to time, and I believe we're also going to do a giveaway for any of our viewers. How are we going to pick who gets some product?
Yeah. So, throughout all of this, I'm sure you guys are going to have questions. So what I want you to do is put some questions down in the chat, and we're giving away a really good prize. Marcus, can I go ahead and tell them what we're giving away?
Absolutely.
All right. So we're giving away my choice piece of the RZ70. I specifically asked that we give this piece away because I love it that much. So if you guys have questions for us or questions throughout the entire stream, go ahead and put them in the comment section. And at the end, I think that, Marcus, are we going to reach out to the audience member? So yeah, at the end, we'll reach out to you, but we're going to try to go through afterwards, answer some of those questions that you may have. So make sure you put those in there. We hope to get to all the questions afterwards, but with an RZ70 on the line, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions.
Yes. And if you don't know what that is, do yourself a favor, look up RZ70, do your own homework, check out some reviews. The reviews are phenomenal, but that is a heck of a giveaway product to start this live stream off.
Yeah. We're really excited. You guys also have some awesome deals going on right now. So for those of you who are out there, I implore you to go to audioadvice.com and check them out. But we've got the whole RZ series on sale currently, everywhere from 29%, everywhere from 17% to 29% off. So there's some good deals out there right now.
Let's go. Awesome. Well, Nick, thank you so much. Team, check out Audio Advice Live. We appreciate you coming on and taking some time to share your expert opinions with our viewers. And please ask Nick any question you want. You're going to get an answer from a true professional and expert in the industry. And then that's how we'll pick who gets the RZ70.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. And I'll be backstage watching the rest of this.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Okay. That was Awesome. That's a heck of a way to start it off. So the AVR being the heart of a system, well, you can't have a system without speakers. So the AVR, we started with that because that's what powers it and controls and processes everything. So now let's talk about some speakers, and who better to talk about stereo speakers than Worldwide Stereo? Let's bring them in. Awesome. Welcome, gentlemen. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hey, how you doing? I'm Ron from Worldwide Stereo.
Hi, I'm Dave from Worldwide Stereo.
Welcome, Ron and Dave. Why don't you guys tell me a little bit about Worldwide Stereo? Where are you guys? What makes you special?
Cool. So first, I just want to thank everybody for watching tonight. This is awesome. And thank you, Marcus and Team Klipsch for the invite. I greatly appreciate that. So we're what I would refer to as the original mom and pop shop. We opened up in 1979. I'm not pop, but I'm one of the original guys. So I've been here from the beginning. I was actually driving by the store right when they opened. I needed a better job to put myself through college, and I've been here ever since, having a blast. We're located about an hour north of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, in a town called Montgomeryville, and we have our design showroom that's just been all redone. We've got the latest and greatest audio and video, thin panel television, shading, all the fancy lighting, a lot of lanes of the highway that we help our clients with. Our team has, from a knowledge standpoint, we were just talking about the other day, we're probably well over 400 years of experience in that showroom, which is pretty neat. And we're getting ready to open up a new showroom. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Getting ready to open up a new showroom next year, probably before the summer, down in Wayne, which is pretty neat. So we're excited about that. I think for us, I know for me, I think the favorite part of our job is like when you meet a client for the first time. That's like my rush. Like from the point of contact, you start listening to them. Maybe you're in their family room and they're talking about doing a media room, and we're talking about focal points and how we can integrate that system into the family room. Give them that great picture, awesome sound quality. And I think for me, that's like what I love doing. I know a lot of the guys are on that same page. So I think that sort of how we're wired as a company. Been doing it a long time.
Fantastic. So we talked about obviously audio systems. We just got done talking about the Onkyo RZ series. You guys are going to walk us through a little bit of our Klipsch reference series. And for those that don't know, the reference series is our entry level into the world of Klipsch. So we always say happiness is black and copper, and your first step into true happiness is looking at our reference series. Can you guys walk me through, let's talk about where would you start with an audio system? You mentioned a living room. Where do you start?
Yeah, the good news is, as you can see in the picture there, the Klipsch offers speakers that are $400 a pair, $500 a pair. Klipsch is very efficient. So what that means to you is you don't need to spend a ton of money on electronics, and there's very little distortion. They sound awesome. So to start your journey, again, you can just have a pair of little bookshelf speakers. Maybe a lot of people are Sonos customers. You could get a little Sonos amp, put a pair of those speakers, and you're off and running. If you're thinking of doing home theater, you could grab your Onkyo receiver, and you could start with a pair of speakers, and it's scalable. Add the center channel, add the rear speakers, add the subwoofer, add the Atmos speakers. So it's something you can build with over time. Yeah,
that's a great call out. And for our viewers that aren't familiar with some of the terminology, like when we talk about efficiency, that is how easily a speaker can produce volume. So if it's very efficient, to exactly what you said, you don't need a lot of power to get the volume that you want. Like you mentioned, the Sonos amp. So you've got a little over 100 watts of Class D power. With our Onkyo AVRs, we step into Class AB, and our Onkyo AVRs are Works with Sonos certified. So if you guys are already Sonos lovers, you can put a Sonos port on an Onkyo AVR, stay in your favorite app, and control the system. Now, onto the reference series. One of the things I like about this system is they're very versatile. We have a lot of different options. What are some of your favorite options for a customer that's either starting a new system, like we just talked about, or even expanding onto one?
Well, one of the speakers I like are the 8060s. So we talked about Atmos briefly. So these would be a pair of tower speakers as your front, left, and right. And then they have the Atmos speakers already built in. So even if you're starting out with just a Sonos amp and a pair of speakers, you can put your favorite tunes in there and it's going to sound awesome. But if you decide to upgrade to a home theater system, now you already have these speakers ready to go. Instead of installing something up in the ceiling, you already have them on the top. And then you can add, again, a center channel, a subwoofer, rear speakers, and then complete your home theater journey.
Yeah, that is awesome. The 8060 is one of my favorite speakers in all of Klipsch because, like you said, everything's built in. That's our flagship from the Reference Premier line. What does make that speaker unique is it reflects the audio off the ceiling to give you that Atmos sound. And more today, you're finding that even streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus, you can stream in real Atmos now. So that all of that content is available where previously you kind of virtualized it. So it wasn't as impactful, but almost everything has that today. I'm going to shift gears into the subwoofer lineup because I think most people, whether they're listening to bass music or some action movie, you want to have a good subwoofer. So we have 2 options in our reference line, and then we've got 4 in our reference premier line. Why don't you guys walk me through those?
Well, in our showroom, we do the reference premier line. So they make an RP 1000, a 1200, and then a 1400, real big.
Mhm.
I mean, if you love bass, you're going to be a Klipsch fan.
Yeah.
You turn them on, your pant legs are going to vibrate. You watch Top Gun, as you said. Oh, it's awesome.
What is the difference between, if you can walk us through this a little bit for our customers? So I'm shopping for a subwoofer. I've got the reference line, I've got the reference premier. What am I getting, right? They both produce bass. What am I achieving when I go up or spend more money?
Well, depending on the size of the room is generally how you decide which subwoofer. Of course, there has to be maybe an acceptance factor from other members of the family if you don't want something really, really large in the room. But you're going to get better sound, especially for music. Maybe you listen to rock music and you want to hear that kick drum. You want to hear the tightness of the bass. You want it to sound more natural. That's what the Reference Premier subs are going to give you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So our Reference Premier, you mentioned the models. We have 4 options there, from a 10-inch, 12-inch, 14, and even an 800-watt 16-inch sub, which is one of our favorites. We have those at our headquarters. We also take those on the road for a lot of shows. But it does get a little pricey. In the reference lineup, we do have a 10 and a 12-inch model. You're going to have great bass for the money, probably the best value that we have in the subwoofer world. But as you go up the lineup, like he said, your bass is going to be more accurate. So instead of a boomy bass when you're listening to, let's say, a kick drum, it's going to sound more accurate, clean, tight, because the woofer material recovers quicker. So it sounds more like an actual kick drum. So there, you can spend a lot of money on subs. One of the things I always have a question on, or it comes up a lot in the chat, is it better to have one big sub or multiple small subs? What do you guys think?
I like multiples. I think try and get as many in the room as you can. I think that's sort of where the industry is leaning right now. So I think what do you think?
I mean,
at least a couple.
Yeah, usually I'll tell people you can start with one. So I forget the name of the gentleman who went before me, but what he was saying, again, it's about calibration. So depending on the size of your room, if you're doing a home theater, let's say you have 8 seats, seat number 1, seat number 8. If you only do one sub, chances are you're going to have different experiences in the bass. When you do 2 subs, it's not really about just more volume. It's about better coverage. So again, start with 1, see how it works out. You can always add the second, and that's pretty much a guarantee that you're going to get great coverage no matter where you sit.
I think you touched on a little bit, Marcus. Oh, sorry. I think you touched on a little bit, I think, which is cool. You mentioned the word value, and I think for Klipsch, it's just from a value standpoint, the sound, the presence, they just always sound great, and it's a very affordable speaker. And we have customers. We've been a partner with Klipsch for, I think we were talking about it before we got on. It's well over like a couple of decades and counting. So it's just, we've got a lot of clients that just have Klipsch speakers and love them.
And speaking of good value, we have Dave's Pick on our website, worldwidestereo.com. It's a 5.1 system. It's got towers. It's got your RP1000 subwoofer. You got a center channel, the 504 center, which is awesome, and a pair of bookshelves for the rear. $2,600 on sale. It's awesome.
Now I got to pause you there because you mentioned I would say what I would tell any customer, the most important speaker in a system, which is the center channel. You mentioned the 504. Walk our customers through that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have a difficult time if you don't have a sound system, or maybe you have a sound bar. You have a difficult time understanding what people say, especially if they're whispering. The Klipsch center speakers, you're never going to have that experience. They're very articulate. The 504 is awesome. You turn that on and you'll hear everything. You'll hear everything that they're saying. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that is the the highlight of most of the systems we design. So at our headquarters, we have the 504. It's called the 504C because it has 4 5-inch drivers in one center channel speaker. So you hear absolutely every bit of detail. It's very light and airy. I love this product. It has a Klipsch horn-loaded tweeter right in the middle. It is a little bit bigger box, but you get a tremendous sound from it. And in the lineup, we do have different options as far as size. So if you have a fireplace or you don't have a lot of depth, we have option for pretty much anything. But a center channel is extremely important because, like we said, that is where all of the dialogue comes from. Now, guys, I believe we are also going to give away some product today, and we have a holiday themed giveaway. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so every year in our showroom, we have this debate, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And this has been going on for years. Is it? Is it not? Whatever. So what we'd like everybody to do is just get in the chat, give us some creative feedback on Die Hard being a Christmas movie, and then we're going to select the winner. And the winner's going to get a pair of our 50 PMs, which are a small bookshelf speaker, like 240 watts of peak power. They're probably about maybe 12 inches high, 8 inches wide. They got a phono preamp built into them. They jam with great bass. You can Bluetooth into them. What did I miss, Marcus? Did I cover everything on that speaker?
You covered pretty much everything. So for our listeners and viewers, these are a self-powered speaker.
Yes.
So it's everything you need in one box. They do have a phono stage, which means you hook up a turntable, anything that is a moving magnet turntable, plug it right in, and you're good to go. These also have TV connections, so it's a all-in-one product. It's awesome, but we do want to hear the most creative reason as to why you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I think it's a Christmas movie. I love it. My wife would tell you otherwise. She does not think it's a Christmas movie.
I think it is. I love it too. I'm with you, Marcus.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Team, go into the chat. Tell us why you love Die Hard. Thank you guys for joining.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Happy holidays, everybody.
All right. So we've touched on AVRs. We talked about some speakers. What else is there? So one of the best gifts for anyone during the holidays can be an all-in-one system. A lot of people shop for sound bars, or they already have a soundbar and they want to add some more speakers to it. What makes soundbars so unique is it is a small form factor and you can get a lot of output from it, and they're extremely versatile. So for that person in your life that either wants to listen a little bit better where they don't have any speakers, or maybe they want to add on the media room or a man cave, or even in a bedroom so you can hear better dialogue without turning the volume up too much, we're going to bring on one of our favorite accounts to talk about our new lineup from Klipsch called Flexus. Now, what makes this lineup unique is the first product that Klipsch and Onkyo have partnered with. So a proven AVR brand and a passive speaker company came together to create this product, and I think we absolutely knocked it out of the park. Joining us is Bill. Bill, why don't you introduce yourself? Oop. Mute. I think you're on mute. There we go. Welcome,
Better?
Bill. There you go.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I agree with the idea that it's a Christmas movie for sure. Yippee-ki-yay should be a Christmas hymn as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, thanks very much for having me on. I'm from Apt Electronics. We're in Chicago. We've been in business since 1936. Love Klipsch. Been selling it for a long time. I've been selling it for, I want to say, 3 decades now, and I obviously love the product. Easy to sell. You guys are great.
Now,
yeah.
you said you're from Apt Electronics. I don't believe that does it justice. So if you've not been to Apt Electronics, it is massive. If I remember correctly, Neil told me when your final iteration happens, it's going to be 960,000 square feet. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Incredible.
We're shooting for 1 million. That's right.
It's unbelievable. They have so many different experience demo rooms where they have anything from high-end listening, sound bars, TVs, projectors, turntables. They're an incredible place to go to experience all of your favorite audio products in one place. Now, if our customers aren't from Chicago, where do they go to shop with you guys online?
Apt.com. It doesn't get any easier. ABT, it's a
ABT.
family name. Been in business as a family business since 1936. And it's just a phenomenal place to work, but a great place to visit. It's a destination for a lot of families on weekends. We have people who will come and stay in our store for a couple hours. You just mentioned everything we sell, but we also sell appliances, Sub-Zero, Wolf, top of the line down to your most basic entry-level products. We have something for everyone's budget. Furniture, we sell beautiful watches, luggage, you name it, we got it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it.
I walked through the watch store the last time I was up there. It was just incredible.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you
So
very
you guys
much.
started carrying our Flexus lineup of our new soundbar system, which is done extremely well. For you as an industry expert, where does soundbars fit in, especially when we think of this time of year, right? We're either buying something for the family or for that special person in our lives that loves audio and also loves movies. Walk us through what you think of soundbars and where they fall.
For sure. Soundbars basically became an important feature for most households when TVs got flat. So as TV's sound became, more and more lackluster, other companies or other options had to step in. And Klipsch is one of those companies that people think of for making a speaker that's easy to use, sounds great. It's a product that's been around forever, designing top of the line products. And it's just such a great looking soundbar. But in general, soundbars are easy to add to any system in most cases, including the Flexus. You can use the remote control to operate the TV for basic functions, and you don't have to worry about turning on a full-blown surround sound system, especially if other people in the family will be using it. You just mentioned holiday movies. It's going to be a lot of kids that are going to use the system, and it's going to be a lot easier for everybody in the family, including those kids, if they can pick up one remote control, operate everything, and it sounds great from the beginning. You don't have to worry about, I can't hear what's going on. It doesn't match this, or the sound doesn't, live up to the picture quality. You have a 75, 85, or even 98-inch TV that we sell, and you have the beautiful picture and sound that just doesn't even come close to matching it. And that's where a soundbar can really pay off. So it's a great holiday gift. It's good all around the year gift, but especially when we get together as families, we want something that's easy to use and brings joy. Sound is, as far as I'm concerned, and I think you'll agree, more important than video in most cases when it comes to emotional impact. We cry during a movie because of the orchestra, not because of what's going on the screen.
Absolutely. And in my house, we believe that. We believe that audio is more important than the video. Now, clearly, I am biased, but you make a really good point. TVs back in the day, I'm aging myself, but they used to have big speakers either in the bottom if it was a rear projection, and then they moved to the sides as they got a little thinner. And today, we have these sleek, sexy bezels, which is great, but the speakers either fire down or backwards. So they're not even firing the right direction. So soundbars are that great solution, especially if where you're at on your audio journey is you didn't have anything and now you're adding something, right? And with Flexus, we have a couple different options. We have the Core 100, which is our smaller soundbar, great with 3 levels of dialogue enhancement. So even if you're just watching the news or a movie, you're going to get a great experience as well. We build in subwoofers in this lineup. This is something that is unique. So each soundbar has 2 4-inch subs built into the top of it. So if you don't want a subwoofer, you don't have to have one. And that is something that is unique. You're going to get a rich, full sound even without a sub. Now, in the picture, you see there's 2 subs. You can add dual subs to this system over Bluetooth. So no wires required. You buy them each a la carte individually, and you can expand upon this with some surrounds. We also put in a subwoofer output. So if you want a couple more Ugga-Duggas, you could put one of our reference Premier subs that we just talked about in the back of the room and really blow it out.
Yep,
Bill,
exactly.
what system do you currently have at your house?
I actually have the 200.
All right.
It's a great sounding system. When I installed it, I kind of assumed that there'd be some hassle with the remote control. I was used to that with most other products that I've used, but it was really easy to set up and was kind of out of the box, just an amazing product. I didn't have to really fiddle with anything. Easy to mount on the wall. The subwoofers sound great. And when it comes to 2 subs, you know, it's I'd say it's critical. I wouldn't say it's an option even. It's some people would call it icing on the cake, but I consider it the main part of the cake. When in Jurassic Park, when the T-Rex, you know, when that thing is stopping on the ground, you see that movement on the screen, but it's the movement of that subwoofer in your chest, and that's what makes you look around the room like that was cool. So yeah, 2 subwoofers, it just makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, it straight rips for a soundbar system. The first time I heard the dual subs, we did a Jurassic Park track, we did Top Gun Maverick, and then I played Oppenheimer. And the scene, you know, spoiler alert, the bomb goes off. But when it's drawing you in, when it's really quiet, the system is silent. It was very low noise floor for a soundbar. And then when it finally hits, what surprised me was the accuracy of the subs, because they're both front firing. They're sealed subs, so which means you get a little bit smaller enclosure, and they just sounded awesome. It was the most output I've ever heard out of a soundbar system. And you talked about the Core 200. That's what I have on my mantle right in front of the TV because they don't take up a lot of space. When you go to the Core 200 versus the 100, it is a little bit larger, but you're adding in Atmos channels to the top of the soundbar. So you get that virtualized Atmos, but it does have HDMI eARC. So you can play a legit Atmos track through it and get an amazing experience. And we also add, which is very crucial, a horn-loaded 3/4-inch Klipsch tweeter in the middle. So that dialogue is incredible. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about with this is, you mentioned it, the simplicity of the system. We have an app that controls all of it. You can do different EQs, whether it's rock, vocal, bass, or do custom like I do. I'm always fiddling with it. But it's so simple. It's over Bluetooth. You're streaming music, which is perfect for this time of year. A soundbar, again, doesn't just have to be for music or for movies. It can be for music. So when you're playing holiday music or people are over gathering, this is a great solution to any household. And one of the best things about gifting a soundbar is the versatility of them. They don't have to stay in that room forever. If you upgrade your system, you can always move that soundbar into the bedroom, move it into the kids' room or the media room that you want to build. It's something you're going to have for a very long time. Now,
exactly. You can upgrade it too.
If I'm going to Apt, what from Klipsch do you guys have on display that I just got to listen to? It's a kind of a loaded question because I saw them and I was like, right there in the front of the room, those things are awesome.
The Heresies?
There you go.
Yeah, we're a heritage dealer. As soon as we found out that the product was going to be available, every new iteration that comes out, we're excited about. And the Heresies are definitely something that are kind of front and center for us, like you mentioned. We're driving them with a really nice amplification system, and yeah, they bring in a lot of interested listeners, put it that way. And believe it or not, a lot of wives and spouses also like the speakers. They look great, but they really sound amazing for a monitor type speaker. I challenge anybody to come up with something that sounds more dynamic and more made for just straight up rock and roll.
Yeah, and I believe, and by believe mean I know, I read in a publication that was rated the #1 rock and roll speaker of all time, and the Forte came in at #3.
Nice.
And you guys have those on display at your shop, which is great. And you also mentioned something that always comes into mind too. Whenever you're adding audio products to a room, I find most of the time, it is the decision maker or the person in the household that is the design focused one that tends to say yes once they get the true experience and they understand why you want better audio, especially in the world where there's all kinds of stuff. You can go to Costco and pick up a soundbar from a TV maker. We like to get our audio products from an audio company. That's all we do is audio. And so you're going to get another level of experience, clarity, warmth, musicality out of an audio product from Klipsch.
That's exactly right. Specialized service comes from specialized products. So you guys do it right.
Awesome. And one of the cool things too, if you guys go shopping at Apt and pick up your Flexus soundbar, it is a system that we talked about earlier. These products you can grow into without growing out of. So you can add one sub, you can add surrounds. We make everything that you need for this system. The cool thing about it is they're all prepared from the factory. So if you've never hooked up an audio product in your life, you take it out of box, hook it up. Like he said, the remote from the TV can program to work the audio on the soundbar, but also adding accessories is extremely easy. We prepare the remote at the factory. We prepare all of the dongles that connect the accessories, and there's only one input. So when I add surrounds, it's the exact same dongle as a subwoofer, so it makes it effortlessly when you're setting it up. And then again, we've got those built-in EQs for vocal, bass, or anything custom depending on what you're watching. And most importantly, the dialogue enhancement. That's probably my favorite feature when it comes to a soundbar, because depending on the movie, you might get a lot of action and the whispers you probably can't hear. There's 3 different layers of dialogue enhancement. So even if you have that person in your life that is hard of hearing, this is a great solution for them for just day-to-day TV.
I agree. Streaming has made it harder to hear things, and this really does make a big difference.
Absolutely. And Bill, I believe we're also going to do a giveaway with
Yes.
Apt. So what are we giving away, and how are we going to pick a winner?
We're giving away a system. So it's a Core 100. So they're going to get the soundbar plus the subwoofer. So you
Let's
get a full-blown system, and you're ready to rock. You can get this thing set up. The question we're going to ask you for this one is, when you get a system set up, when you first get everything home, everyone has this experience. Most people, I certainly do. And you have a new component or something new that you're adding to the system. What do you play first to kind of check things out and kind of blow your own mind before you start using it as your main system? Kind of that private moment when you put on your favorite movie or your favorite piece of music. For me, I'll put on Mahler's Fifth Symphony for music. And then for a movie, it's an oldie, but a goodie. It's Das Boot. It's an old movie about German submarine in World War II, told from the German side, and the low frequency information in a submarine. I was going to say subwoofer. Really shines with that system. It sounds amazing.
Well,
so let us know what your favorite experience is when you get everything set up and the dust is cleared and you're ready to hit the remote and kind of take yourself for that first ride.
Awesome. Well, guys, put your answers in the comments section, and just like the others, we're going to pick the winners at the end of the live stream, and our team will be reaching out to you directly. I'm kind of thinking, like, what if I got a Core 100 and a sub? What's the first movie I would play? I'd probably go with Almost Famous. I love that movie. It's got, the old rock from like the 70s, some great tracks in there. And even the tracks they wrote for the movie are pretty good rock and roll tracks. I always like that.
It's a well-recorded movie.
Fantastic. Well, Bill, thank you so much. Again, give us the website one more time.
I appreciate that. Apt.com, ABT.com. Chicago, baby.
Awesome.
Thanks very much, you guys.
Bill.
We appreciate it. Everyone, have a great night and a happy holiday.
All right. So we have covered a lot so far. Thanks for hanging with us. So we've covered AVRs with our RZ series, the reference premier lineup from Klipsch. Again, remember, happiness is in black and copper, and this is how you deliver happiness during the holiday. Get them some Klipsch speakers. And then we talked about our new soundbar system from Flexus, which is doing incredibly well. Again, soundbars make an amazing gift, much different price point, everything he needs all in one box, and it's a product you can have forever. But moving on, we have another category of our Bluetooth and lifestyle products. And especially for this live stream, we brought in some of our true experts, some product managers from Klipsch. So I've got Ryan and Spencer, 2 of my colleagues. These guys are amazing, and they know way more about audio than I will probably ever know. Introduce yourselves, Ryan and Spencer.
What's up, Marcus? Hey, I'm Ryan Hanston. I'm a lifestyle product manager at Klipsch. So I take on all this stuff like the portable Bluetooth speakers, tabletop speakers, party boxes, pulling all the strings during the ideation and development process.
Awesome.
And I'm Spencer. Yeah, I'm Spencer. I'm one of the financial analysts actually for the company. I know you said product manager, but not quite. Basically,
If
you know,
you've
I
got
go
a
through
cooler title, just tell us your title. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
hey, it's all right. But yeah, I go through and do a bunch of the financial, the forecasting and other things for the company. But I've always been a big fan of Klipsch. You can kind of see it in the background here that I've got, you know, some of the THX speakers, and I've had a bunch of the portable speakers throughout the years. And, you know, this is one of the companies that I really do enjoy.
That is fantastic. So we're going to talk about probably one of the easiest gifting categories, which is Bluetooth speakers or lifestyle products. Ryan, you have a big part in this. Let's walk us through. Let's start with the lifestyle stuff, and then we'll go into our new Music City series.
Yeah, for sure. So, like Marcus mentioned, these are perfect smaller gifts, stocking stuffers. The tabletop speakers, we just recently released the 1 and the 3 Plus. We obviously have a couple generations of those beforehand, but you know, redesign the idea on these guys. We have some really nice rounded edges, some cold to the touch metal controls, and a true wood veneer on top. So you get the most premium materials possible. And, you know, we call these room audio. They have true room filling sound with a, you know, a 4.5-inch woofer on the 1, and then a 5 1/4 when you graduate up to the 3 Plus. And we have a myriad of inputs. You know, I could go on and on about how much I love these speakers. So,
yeah. So one of the cool things about the lifestyle product, I mean, even myself, I haven't been with Klipsch that long, and these are one of the first products that I had. They are true stereo speakers. So one speaker is all you need if you're just going to have that one product in the room. I will tell you the most impressive thing for me was the simplicity of it. So I got a 3 Plus. I got out of the box. I go to my cell phone, Bluetooth, linked it up, and that's it. I didn't have to download an app if you don't want to. I was already playing music in under 30 seconds. And when I walk into a room and I turn it on, there's one button. Again, metal controls, premium feel. I push that button, I hear that wonderful chime, and it automatically links to my phone. So it remembers my phone every time. It's so simple. And then I can turn the volume up on my phone, and the volume goes up on the speaker. We do have 2 different finishes in these products. We have the traditional Klipsch black with that wood textured type veneer. And then we have the new walnut, which is incredibly popular. One of the best looking lifestyle products I've ever had. And I will tell you this, personally, my wife has probably had, let's just say, a dozen speakers that I've tried to get for her to use in the morning when she's getting ready. She's in her own bathroom, and I'm like, this is going to be the best one. And it's always an app. It's a Wi-Fi. It's something. And she never uses it. So she just hits play on her phone. The 1 Plus is the first product I ever got her to actually put in there, use. It looks great, as you can see on the screen, and it just works all the time. So for any of you, and you know who you are, you're getting ready in the morning and you're just playing music through your phone. I know maybe you're fancy and you put it in the cup, you know, for that bass drop. Get a new product, or send a picture of this to someone in your life and say, this is what I want for Christmas this year. It's going to be an amazing solution. Like Ryan said, full rich sound. And in the 3 Plus, Ryan, we do have some different inputs than just the 1 Plus, correct?
we totally do. Yeah. Hey, there's a reason that we call them the lifestyle or room type speakers. You know, because they're really used for a bunch of different use cases. You know, I had a 1 in my bathroom for a while, and I would listen to music while I was showering or getting ready in the morning. And you mentioned the extra inputs on the 3 Plus. There's a RCA inputs that have a phonostage built in. So any turntable that, you know, you don't need a preamp or anything like that. If you want to have like a late night entertainment session, you know, this is the perfect speaker for it. Again, I mentioned room filling audio. You had, you know, you mentioned the stereo capabilities of it. There's also passive radiators on the side. So the bass fills up the room as well. You get all the high frequency detail as well as getting room filling bass. Also on the 3 Plus is an optical input. So you can easily turn this into a Wi-Fi streamer by adding a streamer onto the optical input.
Very, very cool. So perfect for even if you're buying it for someone that's just going to college. You've got a kid going to college, one small speaker to control them all. This is a great solution for you. Again, comes in at that more entry-level price point, perfect for gifting. And I believe if you have multiple of these, we have a new feature that we can do over Bluetooth, correct?
We totally do. Yes, broadcast mode. This will also help you. I see where you're going with this one. This will help you segue over to Music City as well. But broadcast mode, it's a Bluetooth technology that we use to connect not only speakers of like model, but speakers across the line. So you can connect two 1+ up to each other. You can also connect two 3+ to each other, and you can add more than 2 as well. The most we've gotten in the office to connect together at one point is 24. So
that is incredible. And the first time I experienced it, you gave me the demo at the office. I think we had 5 speakers going, but over Bluetooth with the new Bluetooth 5.3, we can do broadcast mode, and it's very simple. Again, no Wi-Fi required, no app required. It's over Bluetooth. A couple taps, you hear some chimes, they connect, and you can now do individual volume controls as well. It is super cool. One of my favorite features with this product. And like he said, you can go across different categories. So the next category we're going to talk about is our Music City. But before we move on, one of the things that's important to know is with our lifestyle products, they're named 1+ and 3+. We have made these products for a very long time, and this is just the latest iteration of these. And that's why we know that they sound incredible. We have the functionality of them that is almost perfect. I've never had an issue with mine. And again, I use it every day. One of the things I also like about it is the adjustability, just like our other products. So we have different EQs. So if you want a lot of bass, you can have that. Mine is in my bathroom, which can be kind of a boomy sound. And I always just take the bass all the way down. I turn dialogue on. I can watch news via YouTube, or I can listen to music, whatever the day calls for. So awesome products. These make a great gift. Ryan, why don't you walk us into the new Music City series from Klipsch?
Yeah, so these are our brand new Bluetooth speakers. There's 3 in the lineup, obviously named after American music cities. We are, the American audio brand, and we're taking a little bit of that heritage alongside, and we're adding that into the new Bluetooth lineup. So we start with the smallest one called the Austin, the middle one's called the Nashville, and the largest one is called the Detroit. So really cool marketing story behind them, as well as, some amazing Klipsch sound. The same engineers that worked on Reference and Reference Premier also did these speakers. So you get true Klipsch sound at a price point, that you just can't beat.
Awesome. Right now we have 3 models out there, right?
Yes. Yep.
Austin, Nashville, and Detroit. Which one's your favorite?
I got to give it up to the Nashville personally. I love the 360 audio. There's 2 active drivers, one on the front and one on the back. So, you don't need to point it in a specific direction. You don't need to, place it anywhere perfectly within the room. And everybody gets the same great quality audio.
I would agree with you 100%. Nashville, for me, it's $50 more than the Austin. You've got the same array on the front as the back. It's really great. My favorite feature of that product, and I had a trip to Australia and I brought it for this reason, it has a 24-hour battery life and it reverse charges your phone. So I had a 15-hour flight where I was worried, what if my phone dies, or, that USB in front of you doesn't work? I had a battery pack that now, whenever I got to Australia, I can take this thing to the beach near the pool. They're completely waterproof, so they can be under 3 feet of water for up to 30 minutes. I have personally beta tested this with an Austin. I was in the Dominican Republic for my 40th birthday. I might have had mimosa or 2, and I was like, let's test this out. Threw it in the pool, grabbed it, absolutely no problem. My family has a Nashville we take to the beach with us, and everyone experiences great sound, which again means you don't have to play it as loud. So you're not going to piss off your neighbors, right?
Yeah.
We love pissing off the neighbors since 1946. When you're at the beach, you get to be that better neighbor. You don't have to play it as loud, and everyone gets a great experience from it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Detroit, because that's the newest one.
Yeah, that's obviously the third, the biggest in the line. This is when we go from having full range drivers to a true 2-way driver complement. So you get 2 3-inch woofers, and then again, stereo sound with the tweeters on the side. So, some really, really good separation of frequency, and there's also passive radiators on the back. There's 4 of them. We call those force canceling passive radiators. As the story goes, we got a beta unit in the office, and we put it on the table. And as we started playing some bass heavy music, the unit actually started walking just due to the sheer amount of excursion from the passive radiators. So we now have passive radiators that radiate in opposite of each other, so they cancel out the force that they generate. It's pretty insane.
That's amazing. You guys are always coming up with something incredible. That's what's great about having product guys that are as good as you. You're always trying to find that next level of performance, even when it comes down to just a portable Bluetooth speaker, which most people probably think is something super simple because there's so many options out there. These are truly unique. I would put it up. I've traveled with these and done a few trainings with some accounts that see a lot of Bluetooth speakers. I won't say any names here, but they rated this product better than everything that's at the same price point. It wasn't until you got almost double the price that they had something that was a little bit better. So they all perform extremely well. And for me, like one of the things I think about is they're also just, I don't worry about them. They're really robust. They have rubber on the outside, it's a metal grill. Like I just don't have to worry about it. I have one I take to my softball games. You can take them anywhere and just plays. It's awesome. Spence, you're being kind of quiet. Which one is your favorite?
I'm not someone to talk over other people. So
well, if you let me talk, I'll talk for 9 hours. So give me you're a good reviewer
go back.
of
I mean,
products.
my favorite. I was gonna say my favorite out of the group is the Detroit. Personally, I mean, not only that, I'm a Lions fan, but like the size of the speaker is perfect to fill a yard. So if you're someone who's outside doing yard work or having a party or something else, I mean, it offers a really rich and detailed sound that really fills out the whole environment. But if you're someone who wants to go into more critical listening as well, you can really dial it in a room as well. One of the things that I really think compared to the Nashville and Austin is that the Nashville is, it offers room filling sound, but with less bass. And like you said, with a 360-degree audio, I mean, it really does immerse you in the sound. And when you do link up the Detroit and the Nashville, they're a really solid fit together with the broadcast mode. And actually, I think the most dynamic of them is the Austin in a way, just because you can do so much with it. It is my travel speaker, my go-to. And when it's not being used for traveling, I'm taking it on I'm setting it up in the bathroom because like you said before, you get too much bass in the bathroom. Well, that Austin's not going to produce too much bass, but it provides that vocal clarity that you need. So, I mean, you have all the flexibility. You don't have to worry about the water. And I mean, I still have to give it to Detroit, though. That is just my favorite speaker out of the group. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great product. I'm with you, though, on the Austin. Austin has a strap on the back of it, so you can easily mount it to like a bicycle if you're at the beach. You could put it on a golf cart. I clip mine to my golf bag if I'm in a place where I'm walking. So it's really versatile. But there's one feature during the holidays that these products have that's very important and that I use all of the time. So, for example, I have an Austin, and when I'm making my phone calls during the holidays, I've done this just on the regular when I'm talking to my mom. So I'll put her on speakerphone, and so my wife and I are cooking dinner, and you can't always hear out of a cell phone. But when these are connected to your phone, they also have a built-in microphone. So those holiday phone calls, the entire family can be a part of it at the same time. And now volume is not an issue. No matter who's in a big open room, they can hear everything and say hi to grandma, mom, dad, whoever. It's one of my favorite features of these products. And it's probably not a feature you're going to find in a lot of Bluetooth speakers. And Ryan just nods his head. He's like, yep, I did that.
Yeah, I could agree with that too. I mean, I use them outside too, and even the noise canceling on the mic is solid. I have a lot of road noise by my house, and I've had plenty of people that were able to chime in and really hear my voice pretty easily. So yeah, I would say the call quality is solid on all three of the models.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Really proud of them. Yep. Also, Marcus, we brought Bill back in, so we got a Chicagoan, we got someone from Detroit. So I feel like I'm obligated to say, "Go Pack, go!"
Hey, all right. I'm from Wisconsin.
Oh, there you go. All right.
I'm originally from Eau Claire, so I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. Thank you. It's hard to live in the Lions' den down here, or really the Bears' den, more like it. So, yeah. Is it snowing up there?
Yeah.
It snowed all day here.
Well, I'm down here in Atlanta where we don't get a lot of snow, but we do have the Georgia Bulldogs, so we're doing okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been an awesome live stream. Thank you to our viewers for hanging with us. If you stay with us the whole time, remember, get your answers into the chat, and we will call out the winners directly. So our social media team will reach out. Good luck to everybody, and thank you for joining.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.